Welcome to Forever Exiled. I am Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days. And Justin is loaded with apathy today.
Keeping us on our toes.
You betcha.
You know? Mm-hmm.
That's what it is.
Episode 328 of our podcast together is officially here. Big shout out to our Patrons. Thanks everybody who has resubbed up this week. We love your faces. Patreon gets you access to our After Dark. It's our podcast after the podcast. And we just keep going. So thank you to everybody who supports the podcast. We love you.
We do. I have ghost face. Hang on. Got to fix it with the blinds.
Okay.
Well, you were going to say something at some point.
I thought it was beautiful.
You did not think it was beautiful.
Mm-hmm. How are you?
Just like you think my D&D is beautiful.
Yeah, it doesn't work, but the idea of it is great.
Yeah, it's true. And
it's the thought that counts.
Do not disturb for an hour starting now.
How are you? How's life?
It's good, man. It's good.
Yeah.
Kids are doing well. Yeah. Oliver's and he's joined a team at school. My daughter wasn't really big on that, or
sure,
still isn't, I guess I could say, because she's just grade 7.
Yep.
But then Oliver in grade 5, he joined a team like last minute. He's like, Dad, I'm on the skittleball team.
Sweet.
And like the next day there was a game, and I'm like, I get this PDF from the teacher. Like I just
Awful.
like, it's like the teacher sends it to every single student, even though there's like 20 kids on the team. And I'm like, oh, well, we didn't know. Oh, I told you like 100 times. No, Oliver, first, don't talk to me like that.
Yeah.
Second, no, you didn't. Yeah. Otherwise, I'd be asking you questions about all these dumb skittleball emails that come through.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, we would talk about it, and he's all like pissy and defensive and never wrong. But then like 2 minutes into the conversation, he's sobbing because he feels guilty for,
sure.
You know, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
You know, getting the mix. It's that awkward age of being like standing up for yourself, but not having anything to stand up for yourself with. You know what I mean? So you get these emotions of really wanting to be strong about something, but you're just a kid. Like, unless somebody's picking on you, there's not much going on. So
sure,
the funny conversations. But he joined skittleball, went and watched a game, and so
I can't remember as kids in especially elementary school. I feel like when we had sports games that we took buses to the other schools, but like they don't do that now. It's like, hey, find your way.
It is. It is. And thank goodness Oliver has one away game out of his 6 games.
No, just really?
One.
That's it?
And it's the one day out of all the Wednesdays coming up that we have a car.
Oh, that's good.
So it worked out great, but
it is annoying.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch though. And also learn. Sure. I don't know what that game is. I had to learn what that game was through my kids playing it. Mm-hmm. And anyway, that's fun. Cool.
Well, and I forced my daughter to come. This time I'm not going to force her to come every time, but it's good to like, shut up, get in the car. I'm sorry this ruins your day, but your brother's got a game. Let's go. And well, not the car, we walked, but it was hilarious having her there. Mm-hmm. She's like playing with her zipper the whole time, but she's like telling stories so loud.
Does she recognize the other teachers like that she had? Like, did she see any
but she's like, Dad,
people?
I'm too old now.
Oh, she's too cool old. For that makes sense.
Well, not too cool. Like she tries to be nice. She doesn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but she feels like it's really she's too old to get excited to see old teachers and people from her past. And elementary school is so past.
Sure.
And so,
That's
but
awesome.
it was super cute, but it was funny because of course I want to give her a little bit of opportunity to say her piece, but I don't know how long her piece is going to be. And so there's like, I had to tell her, I'm like, hey, Vi, like you gotta chill on the stories. Parents are trying to watch their kids. And it was a hilarious dynamic. It's tough to describe, but it was a hilarious dynamic. I had other parents giving me really big grins because of the storytelling that was happening during a game that felt like it was 8 hours long. But it was really fun to see kids of that age at the beginning, because it was the first game of the season. They're only passing to like the good kids, or good kids are only passing to good kids. But then after maybe 10 minutes, everybody was passing to everybody, and everybody was being encouraging. You could even see like some of the kids that were not good, like near the end of the game, whenever they would get the ball, they were hawking it. Like they were trying to decapitate opponents. That's you know what I mean? Whereas before they were even too scared to catch it or chase it. And so it was just fun to see the transition of the first game of the season. So
fun.
But you know, little stories, right? Like it's just fun being a parent. Life is good, and it's been just really nice, healthy. Everybody's good. So that means someone's going to die soon.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's a little
That's just how it goes. Just
Stress?
seasons, right? Roller coaster life, right?
Okay.
Things are
Yeah,
good.
sure. And then death.
Well,
That's the option.
You know what? Well, you know how people are always like, they say this too shall pass, but it's, to comfort you in a negative time.
Sure, but let's talk about like
don't you worry.
Somebody cuts himself.
No, because that's just the life's still
we
great.
We gotta go real
you know
down.
I mean? We are.
Mm-hmm. That's good.
Yeah, a lot of people we know drink and drive, Justin. A lot
They
of people
better
we know.
freaking not.
No kidding. So, Ed,
Smack his face.
obviously just joshing around, right, Josh? And I'm just having a good time. And things are really good, man.
That's good.
It's been a nice week. How about you?
I have kids too.
I saw them last week.
I did see them.
Because this week was the week.
This week, yeah. It's been like this for the past couple of weeks. I didn't talk really much about last week. Not going to either. It's going to be like this for me for a while. So early mornings, very late nights. And I haven't done like I was actually thinking about today, like, what am I going to say to him that I didn't do? I worked. I literally worked the whole week. I'm excited for this
I asked
weekend.
you what you were up to last night, and you said working.
Yeah.
And I looked at my watch, and I felt like it was 11:30 at night.
I felt like it was probably 9 o'clock at night at 3 o'clock in the afternoon yesterday. Or 2 days ago, I said to one of the people I was working with, I'm like, how is it not like the end of the day? But I am excited for this weekend. My oldest is coming down, so we'll get to see him or do our little Christmas with them. So that'll be fun.
Nice.
And I will not be working much on the weekend because Christina will kill me. So
good for her and good for you.
It'll be nice.
And
to
it'll
take
be
a little
nice.
bit of
I
break.
love it when families aren't sticklers about dates. You know what I mean? Like the world's not going to end, and if you don't
still
get
celebrate
there on the
Christmas,
24th,
we'll still have a good time. So it'll be nice to see him and both of them, and then hang out for a bit. But yeah, man, I didn't do anything. Like I worked. We watched The Sandman because we watched the first season of it. So and we just
made a second season.
Yeah, and it's
the
not
first season was horrible.
No, I liked the first season. It was fun.
Well, you like everything.
Yeah, I do. But the second season it wasn't that it was bad, but it just was like, okay, it was fine. It was good until the end. And then you're like, oh, and then Christine told me they're planning for a third season, which is not a good idea. If that is their plan.
Based on other sources, like it's based on books. So it's like, can
I say something that's like in my lap, like Sandman-y spoilery?
Hang on. So Sandman listeners.
Sandman.
Yeah, that's right.
Quick.
Santa earmuffs for a bit.
30 seconds. When you change a character out, like that for me is like,
the actor.
Yeah. Well, because I guess that's part of, I don't know, maybe that's part of the story that like when you die, there's still somebody else who is the new dream king person, but it's now a new actor. And both of us are like, we've gone 2 seasons with this guy. They do it right at the very end. Like that seems like a good time to just chill it out. But yes, I think you're right. It's based on books or something, but
it's the same thing. You get your Henry Cavill thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we did watch the Witcher one with what's his face.
It's not Liam's fault.
Yeah, and I thought Liam did fine.
I thought Liam. I preferred Liam.
Okay, well that's not right, but I did watch Zootopia 2 with the kids, so we watched
the greatest or the highest grossing Disney movie of all time.
Really?
Over Frozen 2.
Really? Oh, well, it was fun. It was, I actually did watch it. Like I didn't do anything, but hung out with them and watched it. We had pizza, but yeah, man, my week was just blah. I didn't get to do anything fun. I didn't get to play any games. Let's talk about Path of Exile.
Did you, reconsider the possibility of hiring somebody to help
yes,
you
it has
out?
come up. It has come up.
Was it your wife that brought it up? Your coworkers?
I mean, she said it forever. It's something we've looked at our company for a while, but yeah, for now that's not the case. But I do like being busy. This is just too much. I can't keep this up. But hopefully in the next 2 weeks this will settle down and I'll go back to my normal version of work.
Version of busy.
Yeah, I do like being busy though. I need to also have separation, and I have not for the last couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to that. Path of Exile. Did things happen?
That's like the fastest we've ever gotten there.
I saw a comment last week. They're like, wow, they're something about personal lives must not be blah, 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 because they got straight into Path of Exile. The thing is, I mean, I could talk about stuff, but what would I talk about? I mean, things are very good. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's happy, which is very great. I'm very excited to see, our oldest this weekend. And if I could play some games right now, I don't even know what I would play. I actually, reading some of the patch notes just very quickly, it would be probably fun to get back into PoE 2 and give it a shot. But I've never done that really before. Like, it's kind of like, I'll just wait for the next one. Plus, I think we have a private league coming up right soon. Is that when is
we
that?
do, yeah.
Yeah, private league.
Just around the river bend.
Did we announce it last week or no?
No, you're announcing it right now.
That was it. All right.
That was a wonderful segue, Justin.
Forever.
Let me just move that note, slide it way up. No, don't be sorry. I just have stuff there so that it's easy to figure out. I just like giving you a hard time.
There you go. I did it. Well, we do have it. It's our Forever Exiled private league. We do it every league. I try to do it every single. I think we've done it every single league. But
does your brother listen to this podcast?
No.
Because I was telling him and Ian about the accents that we have that we don't have.
Mm-hmm.
We say fur, right? I've talked about that in the past.
Forever. Yep.
R is another one. We say A-R-E for both the word A-R-E and our O-U-R.
I tend to say our, but
you didn't. That's why I brought it up.
Oh.
And so I was going to be, hey, Nathan.
Forever
there
Exile.
it is. There it is. Right in your family. Right in your face.
Yep.
So yeah.
The Forever Exiled hardcore solo self-found keepers LE is ready to go.
Starts for us on January 30th.
January 30th is when it starts. Oh, 1:30 a.m. our time. Okay.
Do you not remember?
I don't remember it. I know I wasn't even drinking. Oh, man.
Are you sure? I'm pretty sure you were.
I haven't had almost anything to drink. Maybe I had like a glass, but I've had I haven't drank at all this week. So,
well, maybe that one glass just hit you more than usual because I feel like that's the only glass that week.
My brain is. You get like half a cell. Anyway, that's cool. So it starts in, was that 2 weeks? Oh, we did. Okay. We gave some good lead up. We're good.
Oh, right. We were joking about how we're going to start discussing our private leagues in the main episode so we can so GGG has a better chance of hearing how ridiculous the process is. Your private league starts in 462 hours. Does this sound correct? That's how I do date math. Yeah, that's right. You ask Google what time it's going to be in 772 hours, and they're like, "You've exceeded I'm sorry, I can't do that right now."
Anyway, so it's Path of Exile 1, hardcore solo self-found keepers. Should be fun. Lots of deaths. You can find the information on our Discord. Pop in there, join. You'll get the link, and then come play with us for 10 days. January 30th, 1:30 a.m. PST. So I don't even know what that is across the world, but I feel like we gave way better times for a lot of people who we normally don't.
Big favors.
Yep.
Big favors.
Never happening again. Anyway, it's going to be fun. Pop into our Discord and you'll find the info.
Yeah. And just an extra big thank you to every one of our listeners. Some of you have been with us a long time, some not as long, but it's all awesome. We've been getting lots of appreciation the last couple of weeks, and we just wanted to give a big shout out to everybody. Thank you, of course, for those that take the time to reach out, but also for those that do not. It's just awesome to have you. It's been a pretty amazing community and journey, and we can't thank you enough for being a part.
Super fun.
Agreed.
Listen,
moving on.
We checked the box.
More importantly, did you know 13 years ago, January 23rd, Path of Exile 1 beta opened up. The open beta.
Oh, when we're still open beta or was no more
open beta. It became open beta.
January because it was 23rd. Closed. Because I have mine was 2012.
We're still technically in a closed beta too, right?
Yes, correct. Because you're paying for it.
Well, I don't know what it would have been then. I'm sure definitions have changed.
Same thing, I think.
Is this an open beta that you can pay to be a part of? Because anybody can be a part of it? Or because closed betas used to be, you just got that random invite from that random person or event, right?
Yeah, it's a good question. I feel like closed beta is you have to pay to get into it. At least that's how it's been with Path of Exile 1. That's at least I think how they called it. And open beta makes sense that it's open to everybody. So that would make sense because I think my date was in the 2012s for joining. So yeah, very cool. Yeah. 16 years. Good Lord, that's nuts. I don't know another game that 13. I've played. I'm about 48. I don't care.
I agree. It's
I don't
like,
know
what else can you
play
that long?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I've loved Dark Souls. I've been playing that for forever, but do I actually play that even every year?
Consistently,
not a chance. I've probably had good sit downs where it's been my game that I'm excited for 3 times.
Sure.
Once by myself, once with Ian, and then once by myself after that. And I don't even think that was a full playthrough because I got my itch
Sure.
early. And then I went back to like another save file and messed around or something, right? So same thing. Like it has a very unique replay value compared to almost any other game. Even the other games that you can play nonstop like that. This has quite the unique attachment to it in terms of why you come back and how you come back
and still have fun. Like it's not even, it's crazy. So very cool.
Yeah. And the interesting dynamic, I'm curious how it brings up the question. Sorry, I do need to take a look at this quick, but it does bring up the question of who should control the meta. You know what I mean? Like for any forever game that keeps coming up with updates and balances, right? Some of them are subscription based, like Elder Scrolls Online or WoW. PoE doesn't have the subscription, but just the idea of who's controlling the meta to control the longevity of the game is actually a huge decision. Sometimes it's naturally made, but as a company, you got to have that discussion sometimes. And I don't think I have my preferences which way a company goes, but I don't think there's a wrong direction to go. But it is a conversation that a company always needs to have when you plan on making a forever game. You know what I mean? Who's controlling the meta? Who's the one that's controlling how the game determines what's successful and not?
I don't know that Grinding Gear Games actually has any control over the meta or tries to. I feel like they create the things that seem cool and they want to do, and then I feel like the player base tends to find the ways to twist those around to do, things that maybe the company never expected or didn't plan for.
I think that's part of it. I think at the end of the day, it's become easier for them to simply, okay, here's a bunch of unused skills, buff them up. And then not that generically. Of course, they try and balance things, but because they have a billion skills with a billion combinations, there's only so much you can do. And so instead of having like this controlled rule set within the company of these types of skills with these tags can only do this much based on this much damage, and like having kind of some sort of variable so that there is some sort of control. It's just, this works for what it's currently used for. This one's not working for how the game's currently designed because it changes, so let's buff them up. And I think they unintentionally control the meta that way.
What does it mean when people say what is the meta or controlling the meta? Is that like how the bulk of people play? Is that how I've never totally understood that but it's a game where you can play it however you want. So then I get a little bit confused with, is the meta meaning this is the most successful because you'll make the most currency and you'll kill the fastest? Or is this the meta because this is what most people are picking to do? Or is this the meta because this is the direction they wanted you to go? Do you know what I mean? Like, I've never fully understood what that means.
In my view, the definition is stretched, and it depends on the individual who's speaking. Because if you're talking to somebody who's playing, so for example, do you remember a long time ago, Ziz was talking with Mathil and Chris Wilson all in a joint interview, and Ziz was challenging Chris on the balance of the game, similar to my preference. Like, there's only a few skills you can really use or not use. You know what I mean? There's like 3 skills people can use. Whereas Mathil came out with the argument, or not the argument, just the counters, like, well, no, there's like 3 skills that you're stupid not to use, but a whole bunch of these skills you can do. And like, it's not like, you don't need a rocket science degree to, that doesn't make sense. I forget what the term is, but you know what I mean? You don't,
I know what you're talking about.
You don't have to go to school to make it work. Like, they'll work. They're just not pinnacle. And so I think there's some people, when you're talking about the meta, there's like, okay, here's like the pinnacle bar. This is what you use if you want to destroy content versus the meta of what's just generically successful. Now, as an example, with Path 1 zombies for the longest time were never meta, right? They weren't good enough to play through the game. Like, I enjoyed them and I could play through the game with it, but it was still way too slow for what people would normally consider to being successful within Path of Exile, right? Until the gigantic zombies came in, the ones falling from the sky. And then maybe they were considered meta when the Baron, the first Flu Leagues, when the Baron helmet came out, right? The top hat. So I think it's just like, what can you properly play the game with in terms of the game standards? And then there's also, depending on who's speaking, the elite version of what's acceptable. I find it more like acceptable for the game's demand. I guess would be a way that I would describe it.
Yeah, interesting. I've just never totally got it. Like if when Ziz says 3 skills are the only ones that work, Mathel says, well, you can use the other ones, but these are the 3 that are just crushing everything. Is it meta then because they're just the strong way to play the game? Like, is that what meta represents? Is it the strongest way to play? Because I feel I've heard it talked about too in like the meta is speed. You have to be fast. Like, I don't really understand. I feel like the word's thrown around a lot.
It is. It's very generic, and it's all just like what you need to be successful, I guess you could say. So
I think obviously
depending on where your bar is, that changes what the definition is. But I think almost everybody could agree that, speed would be like you need speed to be successful in Path of Exile 1.
Yeah. I obviously the company has a pretty big role to play in that because they are determining the numbers and the actual function of these skills and how they work with each other. I'm thinking through zombies in my head. Like, is it just that they didn't like zombies, didn't have time for zombies, maybe? But what if they thought that was where it should be? Like, there's also the thought where if you're going to say it, maybe you are more right that the company is the one controlling the meta. Because if they go, that's what we want. It's a supplemental skill to other things, which I know we've had conversations about in the past with regards to they give you these skills when you start out. They're clearly not skills you're going to go to the end of the game with. But maybe that's what they mean to do in some cases, that
100%.
That they're not all. I don't really know. I don't know how you have 200 skills and say they're all viable in endgame. That's pretty tough to balance.
Well, yeah. And I mean, even when it comes to like the argument for zombies, there's some inconsistencies when you're leveling the gem, right? You get it right off the bat as one of your first skill options, depending on the class you start as.
Sure.
But then the ability to raise them, you don't get the manual ability to guarantee their existence, right? With the creating corpse skill. I forget what it's called in Path 1. You don't get that until Act 2.
Cremation?
No.
Anyway.
But anyway, it's that would be to me somebody not paying attention to zombies. Don't give me that skill that I'm literally going to fail with in a boss fight unless I'm extremely experienced with the skill or the game. Like, that just makes 0 sense. So that would give you the impression that they're not paying attention. Yet at the same time, the fact that zombies were typically on a regular basis the weaker one makes sense because they don't cost anything to have 10 of them.
Sure.
Right? You raise them and then that's it.
Right.
And then what else can I have? Well, I can have way more. I can, like, the things that actually cost me stuff, like mana, that's skeletons, that's SRS, that's other things. But because that costs me, it makes sense that those have more damage, especially temporarily. Now, skeletons, they barely costed mana because they were raised so easy, but then they were extremely weak. They had way less health. Like, they weren't even worth using as popcorn. Skeletons made more sense to use SRS. And then because you're raising 1 at a time instead of 3 at a time, like skeletons, like, there is that balance there. It's just they don't talk about it, right? There's nothing in the game that explains it. And because there's nothing else really like zombies, there wasn't anything to compare a pattern to. So but I hear you. And that I always wonder about. I would love to be part of those discussions, or not be a part. Well, sure, be a part of, but also I just love to hear the bigwigs talk for half an hour on why they should or shouldn't control the meta, or why they are willing to with this patch, but not as much so with the next patch. And I would love to hear those balanced conversations about skills.
So it's interesting too, because Path was built obviously around Diablo. And I wonder sometimes, like Chris and Jonathan back in the day, they played Diablo. They want to make their own version of the game, but they're creating it at a time where I could play Diablo 2. And the only people that I was interacting with to determine whether my build was strong or not were friends that I was sitting in a room with playing with. Do you know what I mean? I had no comparison to other things. And I wonder sometimes if that's the concept for them going in, is like, oh, we got a great idea, we want to make it. And as they're doing it, they're like, oh, this skill would be fun, or that idea would be fun. And they would all be fun in their own little individual people trying to play it. But then you get this growth of the internet and this growth of these online communities. And now you've got multiplayer and people going in on it together. And all of a sudden the meta, I don't know that it's purposefully controlled or directed by Grinding Gear Games, at least not early on, because I think that they just go, this is a cool skill. That'd be fun to play with. Do you know what I mean? And Diablo had this, they did have the benefit of no internet. They did have the benefit of you didn't have these communities, at least not early on. to say like, hey, you have to do this skill with this skill. And when you do this and watch this streamer and oh my God, they delete this thing. And then everybody's going like, well, I need that build and the things are too expensive. You know what I mean? Like it shifts a lot.
And like, as we were talking about, and again, congratulations GGG on 13 years of an open beta for Path 1, which a lot of people even still prefer. That's no dig. Everybody knows your other games in beta, but like you've done a great job to the point where you've come up with this new creation and people still love your old game. Like that's a big pat on the back. Hope you don't take that negatively. But like, yeah, you say like, I can't remember, like, you know, I get mixed up when I look in my memories. I don't know what was what. Like I need my picture album that I don't make to find out when I was doing this or that. Like when I went to Disneyland with my kids, I'm like, I don't know, probably a few years ago. But then I look at the pictures and they were like infants, you know, and they can't even remember the last thing. So it's one of those things where you look back, it's like in 2013, what was the internet like? Like I was in my apartment with my wife.
Because I think that was Diablo 3's. I think they came out around the same time.
We were playing online.
Yeah, so there was a little bit more.
We were doing Borderlands. Xbox Live was already out, but that's not incorrect. Like the power of the internet has only grown.
Sure,
and like for like we're talking back in MySpace days, man, where Facebook it was nothing like what it was, and we were still like buying discs for our games. And our game expansions, we were still going to the store for them. I remember shopping with you at EB Games, and you were like, "Oh no, I haven't played WoW in forever. No, I'm just Ty. You just go get your stuff, and we'll come out." And then she's asking me, she's like, "And so, do you want to upgrade for this and this? You get a free mount for WoW." And all of a sudden, you're like, "What free mount? What?" Yeah. And all of a sudden, you go out, you spend $20 that you weren't even gonna like. Just spent $20 in Thai payback, and then you know. You pick up lunch that day because I got you a mount or whatever it was, the code, and like but it was all like it wasn't even like digital then, right? Like that store wasn't in danger of closing because
the
game was lined with discs.
People play games on Justin.tv back in the day.
Oh, remember when it was Justin TV?
Yep.
I remember they changed the name to Twitch TV.
Yep. Shortly
after that American Idol guy who was named Twitch. Like it was one of those American Idol seasons, one of the first ones where there was like people were going to be mad and happy no matter who won and who lost. Like they were both just great favorites.
There was a guy named Twitch.
And there was a guy named Twitch. And for some reason, I correlated the difference from Justin TV switching to Twitch TV because of something to do with that guy from American Idol named Twitch.
They had the smart idea of trying to differentiate between business and gaming because at the time it was doing both. And so they split off and Justin TV was more focused on like business meeting type things. That's what they were trying to do. And obviously Twitch exploded. So yeah, I don't know. It's a fun conversation though.
It is. Who knows? I also think it'd be a fun conversation.
I think we control the meta.
At that meeting decided Twitch. What a weird.
But it works, doesn't it? Like
no, it's just a name that people use. That's
but it works. What else would you call it?
Well, I don't know.
There's nothing better.
Streaming TV.
So you have to use like the actual words.
I know that's very direct. And yeah. It's like totally appropriate, family friendly, unless it's rated a certain thing. .tv.
Yep. That's right.
.com/br/uk.
It's the best.
/RU.
Anyway, it's an interesting conversation, but I think in the end, you do have some part to play in controlling the meta in a game where you can make so many choices. And I don't mean the meta in the sense for what everybody's doing, but what you're doing, like where you're finding fun and what's enjoyable. I think it becomes harder to play a game like Path of Exile when you watch too many people play Path of Exile, because you're comparing what you can do to what they can do. And if you can't differentiate the fact that you're playing the game maybe a couple hours a day or a week to somebody who gets to play it all the time, Path of Exile is a grinding game. It's not the same type of game where you're playing, you know, a Zelda game where if I go here, I get this, and then I go there and I'm following a story. Do you know what I mean? Like the whole point of the game is to grind and get your stuff. And so I think you have to find a way to just compare it against yourself and have fun. And if you're having fun, then who cares if somebody else is going faster or getting more? That's the part I've always struggled with Path of Exile as it's grown, is just the mentality from people. You know, we've had people that go like, oh, it's 2 weeks in, I can't start the league. And I'm going like, what? How does that? It doesn't make sense to me that changes your enjoyment of how you play the league. But that is also me being judgy, because if it is how you enjoy playing the league, then you do you.
Yeah, it's not judgy. It's just different preferences.
get
It's okay. It's okay to laugh at someone for preferences.
All the
Teasing,
time.
poking.
Sure.
Like our private league is coming up, and if you die, we
will be
are
laughed
going to
at.
laugh at you.
Yeah.
If
I feel
you
bad
were
about
so
laughing every time, but I still do it.
Oh,
You'll just see
I'm getting
dead.
way better at not feeling bad.
There you go. Good job.
It's getting so much
Rubbing off
better.
on you.
Oh, it is. It feels so good. It feels so good because, yeah, you know they feel bad, and they might even be gut wrenched. Like I get pissed when I'm dead.
Yes.
Every time, and I'm
we're
not
level
expecting
10.
anything, right? Yeah, I'm not expecting anything, and I get pissed when I'm dead. And the second I see someone say "ha ha" or "loser," I get this flash of rage. Yeah. But then immediately I'm like,
I deserve it.
It's a game. Like but like sure,
fun.
I get mad in that moment, but then immediately it's like the haha punches the rage again. So it's like, so make sure you send lots, because the more ha-has there are, the more punches there are. But it's almost like it punches it away, because it's like having a sticky note that just says it's just a game, or it's just for fun, whatever it is, right? Like when you are fine pointing out that it's just that. Okay. Like I chose to put my time into this. I knew I was playing hardcore to begin with.
And that we're going to die. We know it.
Right.
Going into it. My goal is always to get dead out before the Fs.
Yeah, no Fs.
We don't Fs
anymore. We're disallowing Fs. Only
just deads.
Derogatory laughter from this point forward, please.
That's right. Can you imagine if we could actually get everybody to do that? They won't, but that would be awesome if everybody just laughed every time someone died.
Don't hit
Not
F.
just us. It's kind of rude. Everybody does it to us. Come on. Share the love, guys.
So instead of just hitting F, take the extra time to hit that extra button, go HA. And then
they're pretty close.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, the one benefit F has is when you put your hands on the keyboard the way you're supposed to, there's that little notch where F is, because that's where your index finger goes. But it doesn't matter, because HA, enter.
All right, well, sweet. Private League, I don't know what we're talking about, but it's coming.
It is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And so you didn't play at all this week.
I did not. Did you?
Well, yeah, and it's still similar to the last stuff. I found a way. I don't know if I talked about this in After Dark or not, so I apologize if I'm being a little bit redundant, but I found a way to get rid of Firestorm.
Yes, I do remember this. So this must have been After Dark. It was, what did you do?
So,
tell us anyway, because I don't remember.
Just to make it quick. So again, I'm doing zombies and I'm doing skeletons, and I've set the build up so that it's perfect for me. It's one button. I have all the mana in the world that I need, and things are clearing fast. My single target's great. My physical damage mitigation sucks because I'm just a witch and I'm just pure energy. I'm life and energy shield, but like one crossbow bolt is just like huge amount of it gone. And like I'm in the high 60s, low 70s for maps, depending on what's dropping. And I have in total, I think I have 3,500 health, right? With health and energy shield.
You're level 60 something, 60, 70?
75. So
I think that's my favorite range of levels in Path of Exile. 60 to 80.
It's my favorite. I am enjoying myself for sure. But like that was part of the frustrations and vents that I was having last week. And I saw some conversations in our Discord, which it's a little bit slower now. It makes sense because of the time of the league. But sometimes the conversations at this time of, when the leagues are dying down, they stand out a little bit more because there's not much going on. There's not 200 messages to go through. There's 13 or whatever, right? And so I'm looking, I see some of the conversations, and like some people are getting huge amounts of ES. And then, there's like the banter about, how it compares to armor and evasion. And then I was thinking, I'm like, you know what? That actually makes sense to have such high values of energy shield on the tree compared to evasion and armor, because those are mitigating values. But they do diminish over time. Whereas energy shield, it's not a mitigating value. It's just, here's your health pool. You're still going to be taking huge chunks of damage if you can't find another way to mitigate it. So we're going to give you the opportunity to get way more energy shield than you would armor or evasion, just to make up for the fact that you have a lack of mitigation.
That lack of mitigation is primarily physical, correct?
Yeah, at the end of the day, because it's additive for your resists, right? But it's not for physical damage. It's that underlying, because of how they do armor and accuracy, right? So, I don't mind that. It's just the process for me from a solo self-found perspective to find energy shield, but maintain my resists. Like this part of the game, I don't have what I need. I still feel pretty glass cannony, but I know like I have a very defensive. I'm 50-50 when it comes to offense and defense, maybe even more so, maybe 60-30, 60-30, 66-33 when it comes to defense versus offense. But I still feel too squishy for that investment. So maybe there's something to be said for how the leveling process works with it. But I know that by the end, like there's some of the stats that I see people posting and that I've looked up, like I'll get so much energy shield later on once I have, better gear, better rings and stuff like that. So not rings for ES, but resist so that I can focus more on other things on the rest of my gear. But yeah, so I'm doing a zombie build and I'm a witch, I'm a lich, and the lich means nothing. One thing I did discover about the lich though, you know that one node where it says you have no inherent mana regen, but 6% of your maximum life is regenerated as mana? Inherent doesn't have an underline to it, so you can't check what that means. And for some reason, I just thought that meant I can't get mana regen except from this node. So like I get no inherent mana regen, but 6% of my maximum life gets regenerated as mana. So I'm like,
okay, you thought that was it.
Right. I thought this whole time I just needed more life so that my mana would regenerate faster. I didn't know that meant only my natural mana regen was gone, and any increases to mana regen I got on the tree worked with my life. I didn't know that. And so I solved my mana problems that I was talking about earlier easily because I just started noticing that those nodes actually really worked out. I respec'd into even a more energy shield heavy tree, but that inherently came with a lot more mana regen that was coupled with those same nodes. And I noticed a massive, massive difference. So then I add clarity to my build, and that adds a big difference. And it was just, and the thing that actually made it click for me was, what's it called? Essence Harvest, I think is the support. But basically I get a certain percentage of mana regenerated every time a zombie or every time a linked minion revives. And I start all of a sudden one day I'm playing and I'm like, yeah, this node is amazing. I love it. But then all of a sudden I realized like, wait, that's not supposed to be working. I'm only supposed to be getting mana regen from my life. And so then that got me thinking. And so then as I respect, which I was going to do anyway, I kind of took my time respecking in clumps and then tested stuff out. And I'm like, wow.
I think it shows in the character sheet too, like that change in mana regen. I think
it does. Yeah. It does. But I never paid attention to it because my mind said no inherent mana regen just meant like no mana regen.
Right.
It didn't like, and there's no definition for inherent, and there should be because that does have a specific definition within the game. Because there's nothing. Well, maybe there is. Maybe I didn't click on mana. I don't know. To me, like the terms need to be there. I shouldn't have to go search, right? I shouldn't need to inherent mana. Okay, now I have to go not click on inherent, but I have to click on mana to see if there's any special rules about mana. I should just be able to click on inherent, right? And maybe clicking on inherent takes me to the mana page, but just like save a couple steps for me. So anyway, so my idea is I'm just creating power charges however I can. My skeletons are doing minion instability, right? And so they just explode. Of course, with Infernal Legion. And there's not a lot that supports that. I'm already getting my minions to negative resists on bosses with elemental weakness and frost bomb. So something like Fire Pen doesn't help. Because in this game, penetration only works until 0. It doesn't help. You cannot use penetration to get an enemy into negative resists. And that value is at the end of the equation, not before. So Fire Pen doesn't start at the beginning, and then it applies elemental weakness and then frost bomb exposure. It applies those other two, and then if there's anything left, then that's Fire Pen. And I don't like that. Because
to go into
to me, it makes it a waste. Like, why am I going to? I'm not going to use. Like, if I'm already doing something like that, I'm already going to be using these other two skills.
I think there's stuff in the game though that can make you go into the negatives, aren't there? But it's just not.
But elemental. So curse is and exposure can bring you into the negatives. It's
but the
just pen can't. But if I'm already going that route,
well, it saves you a support slot.
It does, but it also makes it completely pointless because I'm not going to partially invest and have fire pen and then refuse. Like I'm obviously going to use the other stuff too if I'm going.
Well, but it allows you to not have to use those. Depending on what you're doing in the build, you could be using just fire pen and not using the other two.
I guess, but there's so much, especially when it comes to bosses, especially with like you use something like temporal change that has the double con, right? Like bosses already are 50% less. They succumb 50% less to curses, and then you have the slow, and that's also bosses are 50% less encumbered by slows. So it's like,
it's part of the fun of choices, though, Ty.
Yeah, but that's my point. I don't feel like pen provides me a choice. It basically erases a choice for me because of how pen works. Well, but maybe there's a lot of other opportunities for it. But for me, there's no point for it. So anyway, with minion instability, it actually allows me to have other types of supports that benefit my build because there's very little that actually helps with the damage. Even if you put something like Feeding Frenzy on there, if you're using minion instability for damage, Feeding Frenzy doesn't actually work well unless you give your minions some fire resist because they explode before they even get to the enemy. So for me, in this case, my minion stability is now secondary damage. So I just want them to explode as fast as possible. And I used to have it so that whenever they died, my cast on minion death skills would trigger. And that would be Frost Bomb. That would be, and that would leave behind a few elemental remnant. Yep. And then I would have Snap on there because my minion instability would constantly ignite people, and then Snap would remove the burning and then leave fire remnants on the ground. And then I would have Firestorm because Firestorm was a way for me to use multiple elemental remnants, different elemental remnants, consume them, and then go. Now, the only reason that I cared about that was because there was a notable on the tree, still is a notable on the tree, that when you consume a remnant, so use it for something, gain a power charge. And so that was my way of being able to use my minions as damage, my Infernal Legion, and then also just have nonstop power charges. And it's a way more efficient version than what I'm doing. I just couldn't handle it because there was a constant firestorm on my screen. And for some reason, every single time one of those many fireballs and cold, because I was consuming a cold remnant too, would hit the ground, my controller's vibrating. Like it was just nonstop.
I'm aware.
Screen, boom, 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 and my controller, it was nonstop.
So in your inventory, and you can't even control your controller.
Right. If there was one other skill that consumed different types of fusions, right? Because almost every other skill is like it can consume a lightning fusion, but that's it, or a fire one, and that's it. Firestorm was really the only other spell that I could find that could consume multiples at once. And so if there was any other one, I would still be using this method because it allowed me to have my skeletons explode every 4 seconds, which was awesome. And it allowed me to use that minion instability damage along with my zombie damage. And I could just hold down the zombie button and they also would be exploding, and it was nonstop because it would be like every 5 seconds I'd be getting another 3 power charges just over and over and over. It was great. The one consequence or the negative thing about that build was I'd have to naturally get close enough to the remnants on the battlefield. When I'm clearing, no problem. They're everywhere. But during a boss battle, I'd maybe only get 2, and that's fine because that setup of getting power charges is more difficult. And my skeletons are already doing big explosion damage anyway. But I'm not always in those spots. When I'm in a boss fight, I'm just trying to be safe. I'm not thinking about remnants, so the damage is a little bit slower. But it was too busy. So what I did was I actually went back to the original idea way back when the game first came out of doing sacrifice, and then on cast on minion death would cast profane ritual. Then profane ritual would consume the corpses and my skeleton's corpses, and then give me power charges. The reason that I didn't think that it would work before, and I'm pretty sure it didn't, I'm pretty sure it changed, but maybe I'm just wrong, is undead in the sacrifice description. It says, use your undead skeletons or undead reviving minions. They count as corpses. Mm-hmm. So to me, that means they need to be alive. To me, undead isn't a tag of an enemy because, again, undead is also not tagged, right? It's not underlined. There's nothing that says in the game, undead is a type of minion versus alive or versus this. Like, when's the last time you saw on the tree a cluster that said increased damage versus undead enemies? Right? To me, like, there's nothing in the game that's specific about what undead is. So I just thought that meant not alive. Or sorry, undead
like
means
not
alive.
revived yet.
Right. Like they're not laying dead on the ground. They have to be alive and walking around. And that never worked for me because of how the revive timer works. You cast Profane Ritual, it's like, okay, one dies, the timer starts. Okay, now another one dies, the timer kind of restarts. And like it was way too delayed for that to be a consistent way to get power charges. But I was trying it out anyway, and I discovered that when my skeletons die, they leave corpses on the ground with profane or with sacrifice. And they basically have the revive penalty for sacrifice this league. So now my skeletons are exploding, but I'm using 90 spirit now instead of 30 for my non-minion spirit reservation because sacrifice uses up 60. And now my skeletons are like 8 seconds to revive. It's a lot less. They're like barely damage now in terms of DPS. They still do good damage when they explode, but I have less skeletons and they're exploding only half as much or half as often. But having 6 skeletons explode is still enough for 3 profane rituals to go off. So I am still every like 9 seconds, 10 seconds getting 3 power charges consistently, even in a boss fight, which is more consistent than my old setup. And so I've played around with 2 options when it comes to zombies. I'm still just holding down my right trigger, and my mana regen is amazing. So I've played around with zombies also having minion instability, but I've also played around with zombies just focusing on their physical damage. And I can't decide between the 2. They're both fun, but I am enjoying it. And it's a lot of fun, but that way is a lot less, even though my minions are still exploding, it's way less visually intense than having Firestorm non-stop. So I'd go back to the other way with the power of infusion notable if there was another skill like Firestorm, but wasn't.
Which there could.
So right. Visual.
We're still early.
I haven't found one. Yeah, like there might be another one coming. And so I'll be watching for that for sure because it provided me way more opportunity to... it provided me the ability to cast my zombies way more often, and it required much less spirit, which allowed me to use minion instability as damage as well for my skeletons as opposed to just secondary help. So that's what I've been doing, and it's been a lot of fun. I don't care about the Lich, but the mana regen's nice, and this is a very mana heavy build now. So I kind of need it.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like I've played I'm loving the gold, man. Like how gold works just for respecking. I love being able to try stuff out in the game. Mm-hmm. I really don't think the ability to respec in the game ruins the hardcoreness of the game, especially with how long and tedious it is to set a character up.
Yep.
So I'm loving gold, and I love like, okay, I'm going to take this node, I'm going to take it off. Okay, what's my mana regen? Then I just spend gold and put it back on. Like I'm not worried about even getting like orbs of regret or anything like that. I'm having a really good time with it. And so it's been a lot of fun figuring out the character. Unfortunately, I find the character boring. It's just, it works for me. Right. But I don't find like, I like more of the way that the Druids set up where it's like I'm doing stuff and my minions support me and I support my minions. You know what I mean? I'm not.
Wasn't your PoE 1 sort of the boring style though of play, like where the minions did the work?
Yeah, but I didn't have any options that worked for me because of how like Leap Slam worked. Like I love the idea of consecrated path. Like I'm leaping in there and I'm boom, 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 and I'm giving like consecrated ground to my enemies and they're following me with meat shields, staying nice and tight. Like I love that idea, but then to invest in both my damage, which could be done with spiritual aid, but then I need to deal with accuracy. And so then it's like, okay, well, that's going to spread me so thin. So then do I go to resolute technique? But then I'm already over there and it's like, okay, but then I'm missing out on this. And then they added convoking wands or whatever they were called around that time. And it's like, man, now I'm like missing out on all these stats that can only roll on these minion ones. It's like, I would not be benefiting my build that way. Right, yeah, and so the idea of what the Druid is exactly what I want. I just don't care about shapeshifting at all. I think to me, that's cheesy, not a diss at all, not a criticism. Like I think it's awesome. It's just, I don't like to play like that. So I've been thinking about other ways to do those kinds of things and it's fun, but I'm also with the attribute system. I don't feel like I can do a strength int character and then primarily focus on armor or energy shield for my mitigation. I feel like
I think you can, but it's just more gear dependent.
Very much so. And then also it's a very minor amount of both in this game currently. When you're going split with armor and ES or armor and evasion, it's very little of both compared to, I feel like you really need to focus on just, I could be wrong, but I feel like you need to focus so much on just one to really succeed much later in the game. I don't think having moderate amounts of both armor and energy shield, because again, now you need like 5 prefixes, right?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
So
the left side of the
Path
tree
1
does
did a
give
better
some
job
stuff that
with
helps with that, but
some,
go ahead. Yep.
Some, no, it's okay. And so that's just it. But then like, you know, having my split for strength and int, then it's like, okay, well, now I can't really use my scepter because I need 155 int for that. It's like, well, I could focus on strength because that gets me stuff. And there's some minions that scale with strength, but I'm like, but I'm split because half my int's over here. So I'm just, I don't know. It seems a little bit more tough vanilla wise to do that. So having a good time, but I keep playing in my head all these other opportunities.
Did you play this week? Like that, the build you're talking about? Okay, sweet.
Yep, I did. But I kept thinking about what it would be like to be a Smith of Kitava and do this build, right? And just have my armor all like really decked out, right? My body armor. And would it be fun to be the Smith of Kitava, but with intelligence armor? I don't know. Sounds great to me. I mean, I'm still getting a lot of...
I can send you a link that Ethan sent me where apparently some guy beat Path of Exile 2 in 2 hours and like 50 minutes at one of those gaming done quick. I don't remember what they're called. They raise money. They're great things. But he sent it to me. He's like, look, I haven't watched it, but I'm pretty sure he cheats.
I guess, yeah. I wonder if that's just finding a niche in the game or if that's just knowing the game really well.
I feel like it's got to be a combo of both and cheating, because 3 hours, come on. Act 3, one zone takes half of that.
Yeah, what do you have to know about how maps are laid out to know exactly where to go and how and when? And what skill are you using until you jump from level 1 to level 10 to level 10 to level, I don't know, 15, right. And then
3 hours.
What's the end boss called?
Arbiter?
And how do you find it?
You have to go in the atlas. You'll find these beams of light coming out of these citadels. There's a blue one, a red one, and a green one, I think. And you have to kill the boss, which is Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 bosses. You have to kill one of each of them, and they drop a little relic, and then you take the relic to the burning monolith, and you place them in the little thingy, and then you go fight this boss. It's very like grindy and collecty, and you can whatever. It's not super hard because you will see the beams. You just have to be able to kill the bosses. It's also, I don't know, I find it a little bit annoying because then I make sure that I don't do those maps hard, right? Because I don't want the boss. Can you just imagine a Gregory with a bunch of bullshit mods?
I'm so disappointed he lost. I really wanted him to beat Jamiroquai.
Did he lose? Oh, did we talk? Yeah, we knew.
Yeah, barely. He barely lost. And it was because of those stupid yellow wormhole portals.
Right. Yeah, so you fight those 3 guys, and then they drop a relic, and then you take it to the burning monolith, and then it's actually really cool. You take this like ride down on an elevator. It looks very cool, and then if you beat it, you see a little cutscene of something jumping in and doing some stuff, and I assume it leads to more stuff. I don't really know. There's a big maze, if that helps.
Well, I'm introduced to the burning monolith right away. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like it's burning. So on the quest list, it's like blah, 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 burning monolith. And I'm looking around like, well, nothing's on fire. Like there's a cool tower with like a big circle maze around it.
You got it.
Nothing about that is burning. So I go and I interact with it, and it lets me. I can put my stuff in right away if I want to. And then it's like, oh, level 82. I'm like, oh, didn't notice that. That's insta-dead. Okay, moving on. And then I go and I travel around, and it's all about the corrupted stuff. The icons look very similar. Like the difference between a corrupted area and a corrupted nexus.
Oh, yeah.
Like the actual icons. I'm like, I'm getting too old for this. And but I'm having a good time with it. Like I'm going through, and I don't really know what maybe they have a design for there to be multiple strategies for going through the map. I don't really know what it is because I'm
Going through
relatively
what
new
map?
to it.
You just in
Just
general?
the atlas at the end. You know, just like how to go through. I feel like already I started spreading myself to the point where I'm scrolling, and I'm like, no. Let's condense here. So now I'm going back, and all the blue nodes that I have that have an icon above them that make them a little bit more special than the next one. I'm just doing every single one of those, whether they're corrupted or cleansed or have a super boss or whatever. And that's all I'm doing. And I would be having way more fun if their map designs were better.
Some of them are brutal.
Better.
Some of them are good. Some of them are brutal.
And it's not even about like the layout of the perimeter. It's about the amount of junk that is in the middle of the map that I have to deal with. The amount of crap that's in the way. You know what I mean? So that's like the only thing that's really, I mean, I'm a little bit bored with my build, and there's not a lot in the game that really interests me. You know, like stuff like Frostbolt, like just constantly casting it. I love that, but it's just weak. Like it's just not going to work as a primary skill. It's meant very much as a secondary skill. So, you know, like it's just those little things. So in terms of my interest level, I'm limited, but I am enjoying the game. But I find that depending on the map, and not the mods, but like the actual map base, determines if I actually enjoy the map or not. I find
100%.
Some maps just do not have a lot of crap in the middle of the map, and I am given the freedom to actually fight the enemies. I'm not scrounging around all of a sudden stuck somewhere, or not realizing why my minions can or can't fit through this area when they can, you know, it seems inconsistent with other times where they could easily run through. And then there's just some map layouts, and unfortunately it's more map layouts than not, but some map layouts are just, I don't know why, but they're designed or they roll with so much crap. Like whether it's trees or bushes or benches or logs that look so two-dimensional, you think you should be able to walk over them, but no, sorry, I didn't realize how 3D they were. You got to go around. And so it's a lot of that really takes me out of the game. Right, when I'm having to like stare at the mini map to see if there's something, and then sometimes I'm stuck on stuff that's not on the mini map. It's just I can't walk through it. I have to roll through it. But it's just lots of not interacting with combat. It's interacting with stuff that takes me out of the experience. And so I love my gameplay with certain maps. The unfortunate conflict with that is Path 1 suited that experience. GGG could make any map any way they wanted, and users would just pick whatever worked best for them, right? Like, let's say you're doing Flame Dash all the time. Well, you don't care about all that crap in the way. You're just running around. So you could pick different maps that enjoy you. For me, I always enjoyed Racecourse because I liked how visually clear that was. And there was nothing that was ever in your way. It was just nice and clear. No stupid trees in front of your way. There was very little, like they didn't put a bench in the middle of the racecourse, right? It was nice and clear. And great for wall hugging too, right?
Yep. Yeah, you can't do that anymore.
No, you can't. And they determine what map you're playing in a way. And I never have that choice.
Yep.
So that does put more onus on them to make things more generally enjoyable or more generally clear or more whatever it is, right? You can't just be as random because the user doesn't have that choice to be picky anymore. So I find that really is right now my biggest hindrance. I've been enjoying my gameplay outside of that and really enjoying the ability to make this build in now 2 different ways. Very one button and very self-sustainable. So it's been a lot of fun. Didn't mean to ramble about it, but thanks for your patience.
You mentioned Path of Exile 1. I saw that they have I was opening your links for this week in Path of Exile because I know we're all over the map today, but that's fine. So they have a timeline coming?
Oh, Mark? Well, but all they said was
3/28 early March. Is this keeping because it's keeping up with their 4-month cycle? All right. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't an announcement for anything. It's
nothing.
like, hey,
it's just,
we have
coming.
a 4. Yeah. I mean, and you got to say it. There's those posts, but it's always fun to make fun of. Hey, you know that schedule we have? Yeah. We're on it.
Keeping it.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
I was reading through the patches and I saw that they did one big one, the D patch.
Yeah.
And the one thing so I haven't played obviously for a little bit. I stopped playing when they did the where I couldn't block a room or I couldn't save a room. I know that they reverted it. I just didn't come back after that and then got busy. But the first line, players who die during the Architect or Atziri boss fights can now respawn in a new instance of the temple with most of the content removed, similar to how endgame maps work, which it does. It's actually one of the things I don't really like about how they deal with endgame. Like if you do a map and you know, we like to hug the right and you come across the boss, well, you may actually be better to skip the boss and finish the map, because if you do the boss and die, you can still redo the boss, but the map is empty.
Right. So all that like investment with your, not waystones, your precursor tablets is gone.
Yeah. It's a very weird.
But checkpoint system. I do actually find as I'm going through the maps, you
can
find
use
checkpoints in really stupid areas.
Yeah.
And I don't think they have a big enough reveal radius for walking by them. There's some times where I'll start a map and the checkpoint at the beginning of the map doesn't go off. I'm like, come on. Like, no, I'm not getting that last rare. F that. Like, I'm not running. These things are huge. You need 1 million checkpoint. Like, not 1 million, but like, I actually think they need to further improve their checkpoint system. But because they have the checkpoint system, it's a lot less. Like, I get the complaint too. I'm still there. I don't like the inconsistency, and I am interrupting you, and I acknowledge that, but I apologize. I don't like the inconsistencies in the game. Like, you're going through the campaign, you die, all the monsters get reset. Okay, well, that's completely different to how it works in endgame in a way, right? There's no resetting. It's just the same monsters. Okay, odd. So now I go through and I'm playing, and then I kill the boss, or I don't kill the boss. That changes how the map works, whereas in the campaign, it doesn't. Like, there's nothing teaching you about these changes in the game. And then when you're earning XP versus not earning XP for bosses,
I think you do get a debuff that says you're not gaining XP and not losing XP. I feel like I remember seeing it. But
you still need that consistency through the game. It's so weird to completely change how a game actually functions. You know what I mean? Like, that's great. I really hope that they come up with some sort of that as a personal preference. I hope they just kind of tie it all together so it is actually the same experience that you're learning and fighting through and getting through. But anyway, so you were talking about the bosses and getting to retry in maps.
Yeah, well, they made it so you can redo the Atziri fight, which sucks which is good that they've done it, but it was my frustration is I had finally built and I had gotten to the stupid extra guy or whatever the other one, Architect. I got to the Architect and then I didn't know what I was doing. Then eventually realized I got to get a key. So I get a key, and then I realized that you have to have the key and the room connected. I finally did all that. And then I died in the second phase of Atziri, not having any idea what had happened. And then that was it. Like, start building so I'm really happy that they did that. It is too bad, but it is also you have to, it's for myself. I have to also be fine with it. Like, you are playing an early access game, and there are going to be some things, that they figure out as they go along. But that one's too bad. There's some of these things that I was like, man, I feel like they probably could have known this ahead of time, but whatever. It is what it is. That's
talking about consistency, right? That's what triggered it in my mind, was they're already doing that with bosses. Why is this all of a sudden different? Oh, shoot, you're right. Yeah, obviously they want to retry but like that kind of stuff, just it's one of those other things that makes the user who doesn't know the process, and maybe it's true, but it makes it seem rushed. Like, we're a month into the league, and now we can finally retry this boss that took us hours upon hours to try and unlock. Like, come on. Like, we can do that for every other boss.
Yeah, I think it's cool that they've come out with this stuff. I don't know. Like I said, I hope I get back in to try it. I also I want to check out with this character sheet now displaying how much item, armor, evasion you have, like, from your items. I think that's really cool.
Maybe that's a PC mouse and keyboard thing. I was really excited for that because I'm like, yes, give me more information. Like, show me how much my items are giving me versus my tree or versus my gems or whatever. I can't see anything. There's nothing different in the character screen. Feel free to load it quick if you have the time.
I don't have time, but maybe I will before or after dark. Because I read that.
I was really excited about that. Yeah. But I mean, maybe the mouse and keyboard screen was different, but it would be weird if the mouse and keyboard screen didn't show you how much armor, evasion, and energy shield you have. Like, that would be how, like, a year into the beta when they finally add that basic detail. There's no way that's what it means. But I couldn't see anything with controller support on both PC and Xbox any difference. So
did you read these patch notes?
Yeah, there was some good
All
humor in some of them too.
Quadrilla monster variants have been working out and now deal more damage. That's clever.
Yeah,
I like that.
I
That's
like
fun.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Huh.
Thank you,
Cool.
individual, for your humor.
Yeah,
There was a
whoever's doing
lot
this
of good
fun.
shout outs in this patch. I'd like to read a couple.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
go for it.
before we sign off. Skills which reserve spirit now display their final modified spirit reservation on skill information pop out. I like that, right? With based on all the ifs, ands, or buts. I like that. Added buff names to buff hover information on enemies. Love that. Like now you can actually, like there's text. It's not just an icon.
Oh, okay. That is good. Yeah.
Well, it's nice because it's that extra bit of information that helps the user understand what's going on. And then later on when they see that definition or even there, then it's just more knowledge and awareness as you're going through. I do like that. Anointments on the passive tree. You can now view it anytime. You don't actually have to have.
Oh, I have to hold down the button.
Yeah, but now it's like you can see it no matter what you have in your inventory. Before you had to have a distilled emotion equipped to see what things cost.
No, you didn't. You definitely didn't.
Yeah, well, it says passive tree notable anointment displays no longer require the player to first pick up a distilled emotion.
Passive trees now displays.
Or maybe on the tree, you couldn't see them until you've actually picked one up in general. So maybe
Interesting.
you couldn't see that you could.
Maybe you have to have picked up the
anoint.
first one before you can do
so
it.
I guess that's not a
Okay.
requirement anymore.
Interesting.
And then adjusted the damage
Why
of
was that ever a thing? Why was that ever a thing? That's hilarious.
It's probably an oversight. Probably not a design. Probably just like, I
No,
don't
but
know.
it had
Like,
to be a design. It would have to have been a design choice to be like, oh, I get the idea of like, well, they've first picked up their first anoint gem thing. You know, now by picking it up, it seeped into their skin and they have vision. I don't really understand the lore behind it, but that's a weird one. Anyway, cool.
Maybe, but it could also come with the. Remember when the beta was first announced, there was this lots of consideration. They were talking about all the different ideas to not overwhelm the user. Like, you know, one of the ideas they had that they never did for us, but you know, you start off with a small tree, and then as you start going into the tree, it starts expanding more and more and more. Like there's always the thought of how much are we overwhelming
Sure.
our people, right? Like in my hideout, I have how many different crafting benches already, and we have like 2.5 leagues out. You know, you have recombinators, you have what's the other one? There's the one that splices your mods. Then there's the one that you can just take like 3 amulets and make a new amulet. And then there's the salvaging bench for the sake of sockets. And then there's identifying and then selling, but then disenchanting. Like there's just already, and we're like 2 leagues in. It's a lot. So maybe that was just part of their, you know, let's slow things down for the new player. But anyway, cool. And then adjusted the damage to a whole bunch of different bosses, but the Sky Seer and the Beast Lord were 2 of them.
Lots of fixes too, which is great.
A huge amount of fixes. And then updated the slow keyword to state that monsters can't be slowed below.
You would
they
like
have a
that.
minimum threshold. Well, that's nice because without that, how do you know? You keep like investing into temporal chains or chill or whatever, and you don't realize that it's redundant because you're trying to get them like, why can't I get, you know, past 25 or like I get the diminishing return. So what else do I need to make it work? Like it just saves you time when you know that there's a flat baseline, right? So I like it.
Sweet.
I mean, all things that should be in the game, but it's nice to see them as they're added. And then, of course, in 2 seconds, we'll take it all for granted and complain about something else. But it's all good,
That's
man.
cool.
This was a big week.
Yeah, I want to try it out.
And January 30th for our PL is 2 episodes away.
Yep. Hop onto Discord. You'll find the information on there. Feel free to join. We will add spots as needed. So don't worry if it looks like it's about to fill up because I think it is.
And there's not a rush for us to fill in the spots, just as long as those spots, everybody's good for when the league starts. So don't panic if you're on a waiting list or if we haven't officially approved you, if you haven't logged into the site in a long time. Don't panic. We'll get there. We check it once a day, once every 2 days.
Yep.
Once a year, something like that.
It will be checked before the event. Let's wrap this up. Forever Exiled 328. I'm just Nate Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days.
Patrons will catch you in After Dark. Everybody else will see you next week. We got a website, foreverexiled.com. We have a Discord, as mentioned before. Pop in there, say hello, and join the private league. And Patreon and other ways to support the podcast. You'll find them down below and on the website. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I almost hit. That was the wrong one. I almost ended our conversation, not the recording.